Hello Shiny Crafty People, it's Tim Totten here and welcome back to the channel. You just caught me getting ready to go into one of my favorite bargain outlet stores, Ollies. Remember how Big Lots used to be like closeout of things from major stores and then they went to like having things on the shelf all the time? Well, that's what Ollies is now, like the original Big Lots or Fred's. And literally it's closeout items. So the odds are what I show you in this video today are not the things that you'll find when you go in unless you find a few of the things they keep in stock. But either way, we're going into my Ollies in Eustis, Florida. Let's go check out the kind of fun crafting and sewing stuff and maybe just a few other items that you might be able to use. Join me.
Ollies was founded in the 1980s in Pennsylvania, and now they have more than 558 locations in 31 states in the United States. They have a really great selection of books, and of course, beyond that, really wonderful crafting stuff, which is exactly what I want to show you today. Because they are closeout items, you get interesting ideas in the crafting world, like this Learn How to Knit set. It's a couple of knitting needles with some instructions. Of course, you need to buy some yarn as well, and there are many other items too.
They've got a lot of good coloring stuff here, like stamp markers, and there's some, well, this is a tempera set, but they also have acrylics. Like if you're trying to get into acrylic paint and just try it out, $3.99 is a really cheap price to get going. And brushes, of course, down below. Lots of fun stuff, plenty of scissors, actually pretty cheap. I mean, a good pair of Fiskars for $6.99 is like, I think super cheap, actually. Those are actually pretty good scissors. In fact, I probably should grab a pair of those. Haha. Also, if you're getting into other stuff, they have other craft stuff, a bunch of kids things, right? But like wooden plaques if you want them. These are metal art piece that you can do some design on. Not sure why there's coin wrappers in the middle, but they also have a lot of stuff for kids as well, which I thought was pretty impressive. I'm trying to say, oh, a tie-dye kit. I mean, think about it. Like if this is $6. So if you want to try out with the kids a tie-dye plan, it says you can dye up to 30 projects. I don't know how true that is, but it comes with a bunch of different the colors and gloves and everything, although it doesn't show them using the gloves, so I think you probably should use those gloves. But not an expensive way to go ahead and try something out. I mean, they've got so far as even some vinyl rolls. These are all branded Joann. So remember, Ollies is a discount closeout store, so they're closing out these items that are available elsewhere. Stencils, a lot of good choices. Now, because it is a closeout store, it has like overstock from other places. So right now they have these huge skeins of yarn, Super Saver Jumbo. This is 14 ounce, 744 yards of yarn. I don't do any yarn work, but is $4.99 a good deal? I have no idea. I won't be buying any of these because I don't do yarn work, but they've got a number of colors there. And they even have this here, Yarnspirations. Let's see. $2.99. It's in a new format. Apparently this format didn't work real well because it's at the closeout store, but still kind of cool. Let me see if I can tell you how much is in here. 364 yards of 7 ounce yarn. So my store happens to have a bunch of canvases today. So let's see, this is 2, 4, 6 canvases, 8 by 10, and they're only $10 for that. And of course there's bigger canvases, a 3-pack of 16 by 20. That's a big canvases for $10. You get 3 of them. I think that's a pretty good deal. And you know, it just depends on what they're going to have. This is a portable field easel for all of $12.99. Look at that easel. So they got a lot of options here. Now, even though they close out a lot of stuff, there are things they tend to always have in stock, including these long bungee type cords, but also their tarps. And they're usually pretty inexpensive. Now, I don't know what you might need a tarp for when you're crafting, but you know, if you can find the right type of tarp, or you need something for a big project, for maybe you're painting on it for a school or something, there's lots of options here.
There's lots of home decor that's made across the country and becomes something that needs to be closed out. So here's an interesting pile of what look like thin metal beer caps. So they have a bunch of those, which is kind of cool. That's something you won't find every single time you go in there. And a bunch of other home deck items, these signs that say like welcome home or welcome. I was particularly interested in these just simple folded metal ones that were cut. Look like they're like laser cut or stamped, and pretty inexpensive, just $3.99 for this particular one.
All right, so they have a lot of candles. Certainly some of them are seasonal, but there's so many to choose from. I mean, if you need a candle, they are definitely getting major deals.
They also have unusual items they're closing out. This one maybe speaks for itself. It's a padded seat for when you're in maybe a vulnerable position. And one of the things I love is Ollies always seems to have lots of heating and cooling things, fans, smaller fans, bigger fans. This fan was only like $12.99 for a small Holmes fan. I got a little too close there. But they have lots of different ones in different shapes and sizes. Some are quite large, tall, thin ones that are really great. But they also tend to have air conditioners, like wall units or other ones, maybe portable air conditioners. And they usually have an entire stack of heaters, which I didn't see to show you here. They have lots of great hair care and body care products, including things to wash all your clothes. So there's plenty of items for that. And toys. Oh my goodness, the amount of toys that are available. Toys get made in such big quantities, and sometimes they just don't do well, or maybe that particular game or whatever just isn't popular. So they close them out at Ollies, and you can find really great deals on toys, especially for young kids, middle kids, older kids. I bought a game about the TV show Schitt's Creek, and it was $4. You might also be amazed by the amount of furniture they have. This is just some shelving units they had on sale for a pretty good price, plastic shelving units. And they also have lots of outdoor things. These are obviously big pots, and then there are these really big, actually, steel umbrellas. They were pretty huge, actually. And then other stuff for your outdoor garden area. Now, it's important to know that Ollies does have a lot of food, at least the Ollies that I go to, but you really need to check the dates on these things. Like, I might want to try these chocolate peanut butter Rice Krispie treats, but they might expire in just 2 or 3 months. So you really have to be careful. I tend to buy food here and use it almost immediately. And of course, there are lots of home deck things, and this is a whole section of towels and washcloths. If you're doing a project that requires some terry cloth, towels or washcloths, they had really good deals. That was $4.99 for a bundle. Here's a $7 towel set here, or was this a towel closeout? Nice big bath sheet, and plenty of colors and different ideas to choose from.
So they have a very large selection of comforters, but they also have a few quilts in here. So this is a nice quilt. I'm going to see what the price on this is. This is a Waverly quilt set king, actually, and it's only $19.99. So if you were going to do any of those projects that I've done before, which is where we take a pre-made quilt and turn it into a number of things, and I'll put a link in the description below. This is $24.99 for a reversible quilt, so it goes to a darker color with this pattern on the front. You've got an entire, that's a full queen that could work for that. Now, a lot of these others don't quite work. This one would. It goes to a gray to this other color. That's kind of boring. Some of these others are, they're big, like they're big poofy comforters, and they're not really going to quite work for those projects we've made in the past. So you need one that says like quilt. So this is clearly like a thinner quilt piece, but we can also see like that one straight ahead. This is a 3-piece reversible quilt set. And that's quite nice, and it goes to a darker green. Now this is kind of plain, but this back here in sort of a fun color, or this one. I like this one a lot, actually. That's $29.99, but the front is this pretty material. And then the back is this like blue. That would make some very interesting projects. And for a queen for $30, you're gonna get a lot of projects out of that. And in fact, if we look over here, we'll see that there are some. This is actually Mainstays. It's a Walmart product. And you'll notice here that this is a burgundy. Now, I don't like what's on the front of that because I don't think that goes with, that's going to make small projects that break up. However, there are some others that could work. Like this one is quite fun. Actually, I'm going to grab this for a future project. I've said in the past that you can use sheet sets for projects as well, and they have a lot of great ones here. And the good part is, if you're backing a quilt, $16.99 for a 4-piece sheet set, It's a queen size. That's actually a pretty good deal for get all that fabric to back with. You might want to find something that's a little bit thicker if you can, but still, these are going to be a good way to do that. And you could choose if you want to do microfiber or if you want to do a standard cotton or something. You can really get your option. And this is, I'm not saying this is a competition quilt, but it's going to allow you to do a quilt made for somebody you love and you need to keep the price down. This makes it accessible. Like here's a queen set right here for $9.99. And it's a 4-piece, so it's going to be a top sheet, a fitted sheet, and then 2 pillowcases. So if you had a quilt this would go with, this is black and white and yellow, you could use this as your backing, and you've been able to make quilting more accessible, and you don't feel too bad about what you spent time to make the quilt. And I have some projects on my channel that use kitchen towels, but I've also done a lot of stuff with Pioneer Woman. So if you're actually looking for some Pioneer Woman closeouts, this is actually Pioneer Woman stuff that's at Ollies that's been closed out. That's a braided trivet, but also there's this table runner. So check stores like this because Walmart does close this stuff out. There are some items they seem to have always in stock, like kitchen towels like this and all this kitchen stuff. And so if you're going to make any of the projects that I've showed you on the channel before with kitchen stuff, this is a great place to get those. Not terribly expensive. A set of 2 kitchen towels for $2.99. I think that's a pretty good deal. Actually, I like this kind of kitchen towel for $1.49 for 1 towel. I don't know how absorbent they are though. I like the look of them, but is this an absorbent towel? Somebody tell me. It's very thin. Never sure. But if you have friends in Texas, you want to make them a nice Texas towel set, there you go.
In addition to the regular kitchen stuff, there's also plenty of other kitchen items like dishes and pots and pans and all of the different appliances that you might want. They have lots of good closeout deals. I would just check reviews on those to make sure that they're actually a good version and not something that's bad. And of course, they have plenty of as seen on TV and trendy items near the end of the store as you get ready to head to the checkout, where of course they bombard you with all the great chocolate candy and everything else. Well, I'm getting ready to check out here, so why don't you join me outside this Ollie's store and I'll tell you what I got.
All right, so I'm leaving Ollie's now. I actually ended up not needing a cart, which is crazy because every time I go in there, I usually have to buy a bunch of stuff. But I didn't have to buy coffee for the house today because my son went a couple days ago and got Brad's coffee and got a bunch of other weird stuff that, because you get good deals. Like there's food. The problem with the food is you have to be careful. It's like closeout stuff, meaning a lot of it's close to the expiration date. So you have to be a little careful. I actually was careful too. I didn't actually buy too much food because I came to the gym this morning right next to Ollie's. I will show you what I got though, because I think it'll be fun to see. And I did tell you I was gonna get a pair of those scissors, which I did. $6.99 for those Fiskars. Good deal. And these are 9-inch scissors. These are really good. I did also get a set of a luxury 2-pack of notebooks, and we're talking about $2.99, super cheap. I did get also that full queen quilt that I was showing you. I did get that. It was only $12.99 for a full queen quilt. I'm going to use this for a couple of new projects that I'll show you on the channel. And because I did go to the gym and do almost 2 miles on the treadmill, I went ahead and got myself some Starburst. This sharing size was only $4, which is a really good deal. So anyway, thanks for coming along with me to Ollie's and checking out, it's somewhere in the background back there, to the Ollie's discount closeout store. And until next time, folks, stay crafty. I want to open these Starbursts. That means I'm going to turn off the video. Wish me luck.